Welcome to Filmatic. I am your host, the Film Doctor.
And the Film Surgeon. We are back in the attic with another confusing ass movie to review. It's the little things, boy. The little things that you don't understand. We got the little things coming to you, starring Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto, all Academy Award winners, star-studded cast here. This is coming to us from HBO Max. Y'all know what to do.
So here we go. We'll jump right into our movie review. So, we've already talked a little briefly about this, Manny. I mean, I guess I could jump into it and kind of talk about my thoughts on it. I could let you go first. There's not much we can say because we have to understand what we've seen in order to kind of diagnose it. And I hate to down any Denzel Washington movie because he's hands down my favorite actor, if not one of the greatest actors to ever do it. And, looking at Jared Leto, who I don't know much about, I know that he's a method actor and I know that he takes a lot of time to get into his roles, and he's a really good actor in general. If you're not looking at his performance as the Joker from Suicide Squad. But this performance as the villain here, or can I call him a killer? This guy inside of this movie, The Little Things, this performance was eerie. And I don't know if the music added to it. I don't know if it's the fact that he never blinked, but he did phenomenal as his performance. Denzel Washington played a general character, but I think that his performance still was very good. And same for Rami Malek. He had a general character inside of this movie. But this movie was 2 hours and some odd minutes long. And you would assume when you have that kind of long film, a lot of things will be explained and uncovered. You figure out a lot of stuff. You learn a lot of stuff.
Things, my friend, you would be wrong.
It's like they started certain stories and then just said, fuck it. We don't need to go back. We don't need to go into any more detail. We gave them something. Let them figure it out. Let's give them something else. You know what? We're not going to explain it. Let them figure that out. And then we'll get to the end of the movie and let's give them a really big ending and not give them any more. Let them figure it out. So the whole movie, I'm trying to figure out shit. I'm rewinding the movie, and no matter how many times I rewind it, I still don't understand what's going on. Now, I'm not going to down this movie. It was entertaining to watch. The action, the story, the drama, the suspense, all of it was entertaining to sit there and observe, even for 2 hours of confusion. But I just feel like they should have given us something. If you're going to lead up to that, even if you have out of this 2 hours, 150 minutes of complete and utter confusion, that for 10 minutes you just blow the roof off the ceiling with this big ending, and I don't think that they did that. What rating do I give this? And it's kind of a toss-up because I don't want to give a Denzel Washington movie a C. But that's like comparing it to Book of Eli, and that was like
Book of Eli.
Book of Eli was like on some D level kind of shit. But I want to say maybe in between like a B- or a C+, somewhere in between that range. Just because for me, it was entertaining to watch, and I was captivated in the story, and I liked the acting, I liked the cinematography, the music, I like all those other components. The one thing that threw it off was the story. Yeah. The confusion and confliction of the story. I like those kinds of movies where you can kind of be in a position where you have to guess and leave things to your own interpretation at the end of the movie, not the entire fucking movie. So that's my thoughts. What about you, Manny?
So this movie, where do I start? We were so hype about this movie, and I think that's a part of the problem here is, when we were talking about it, when we were like, the trailer's out, we got to watch the trailer. I believe we did a trailer review for this. We were hype about this movie, and it fell flat. There's some good parts here. Let me start off with acting. The acting is Jared Leto in this. I love him in this movie. He did a phenomenal job. He portrayed that serial killer kind of mentality and MO perfectly. he did a phenomenal job in this film. You know, kind of outsmarting them at every step, and just like, you know, he did a fantastic job.
Not to cut you off, but because you bring up a good point. The outsmarting was so hilarious. It was like on a sarcastic but very intelligent wave, you know. And I laughed at a lot of it, like, dog, he got their number.
He was Jared Leto was phenomenal. I think some of the cinematography here was good. Some of the camera angles they chose to shoot from the aerial over the pits after he buries him, that was a good shot. You know, they had some really good shots in this movie. So I won't down it for the cinematography aspect. I can't really down it for the acting aspect. But the story is it's weird with this movie because it can grab your attention for 2 hours. Like for the runtime, it can grab your attention. The problem is it's grabbing your attention because you don't know what the heck is going on. And you are trying to figure it out from 15 minutes in the movie all the way to the end.
15, maybe an hour and 45 minutes if you try to figure it out, because you for damn sure it's gonna be lost.
Like it goes off of the rails.
They were naming people that they never really introduced and talked about. They brought in people that you would think would be really good characters and didn't really explain the history about them. Yeah. You know,
and then, you know, I can see what they tried to do with both of them. You know, both of the detectives, Rami Malek's character and Denzel Washington's character, like trying to connect them and parallel them. But even that is you know, kind of questionable. You put it together at the end, they're parallel. It is you know, I'm not gonna spoil it. They're parallel through this movie.
Spoil what? What are you spoiling? You have to understand what you saw to spoil some shit.
I'm not gonna say what happened, but they were paralleling them together. Let's just say that they're parallel, and I guess that was their overall arc, is that these two people are more alike than they think. Who the heck knows? But
so what are you giving it as a rating? Where are you at? Because even when I look back now, thinking about it just now about my rating, like B- is like me being somebody who enjoys film and enjoys those actors, and I'm thinking to the general public, they may see it as like a C+ or a C-. So that's why I give it a range. What do you give it?
You know what? I told you I wasn't gonna D this movie. I'm not. I'm gonna give it a general C rating. It's a C. You know, Denzel, you my guy. You know, if you ever want to drop Equalizer 3, I know they're doing the Equalizer TV show, and maybe we'll review that.
Are we really gonna mention that on this? Like, are we really giving that any kind of recognition that Queen Latifah is gonna play inside of it?
Shout out to Queen Latifah, but
like, why are you even giving a shout out to her? And that's like this Sunday too. That's gonna be a short episode or a long episode of Rage. But anyway, go ahead.
It's after the Super Bowl, which is on the 7th, if you're looking to catch that. But Denzel, if you want to come back for the real Equalizer 3,
and you're gonna need it. You have to redeem yourself, Denzel. You have to redeem yourself and do an Equalizer 3, because it's the little things, Denzel. Yeah. It's the little things that rip you apart.
The trailer with
the little things that get you caught.
That was not as impactful as they thought it was. Like,
I was waiting the whole time though. The whole time I was waiting for it to get to that quote, which they said twice, and I'm like repeating. I'm like, oh snap! I don't know what's going on, but this is my part.
Like that, even that, it's the little things that get you caught kind of statement was not as impactful as it was in the trailer, in the movie.
I agree. Well, you know, that's all we can really say to you guys. If you guys want to check it out.
The rating for everyone to watch this, just so we don't forget, so we can tell you guys, I would say that this movie should be kind of like rated R. I would say 17+.
Yeah. It definitely has that gore, and it doesn't have any sex or anything in it, but I think the gore, the violence, and maybe even language in it is definitely not for kids. But if you have 2 hours to kill, or even, you know, for most people that like to rewind and try and figure things out, if you have 7 hours to kill to watch this movie, and try and understand it, give your own interpretations. I even looked things up online to try and give it, and then they even say that they made this movie to kind of leave it up for the audience to have their interpretation. Who is the killer? Who did what? Who is this? And definitely, I left with a lot of questions. So if you,
answers.
if you want to see this movie, like we said, it's on HBO Max. Go ahead and hit us with that sponsorship. You already know the deal. We need maybe some free merchandise, some t-shirts. You can send us, just give us like 3 years for free of HBO Max. A couple hats would be nice. Hit us up with that. That's the deal. So that's all that we have for you guys today. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I am the Film Doctor.
I am the Film Surgeon.
I don't even think you had to say that at that kind of volume. But this has been another exciting episode of Filmatic.